Hi, honey. She's so happy because I've just been using Axe shower gel. The only shower gel made from 100% real axes. I'm clean, and because of its new flesh-cleaving technology, I'm lean too. Axe shower gel gets you clean right down to the bone. Oh, the pain. Axe. It's not just a name. It's actually axes. Use of Axe shower gel may result in blood loss. Contact your doctor if you run out of blood.
This is The Wretched, an actual play podcast of a game by Chris Bezette and played by Ben Maddox. Episode 3: Discoveries and Regrets.
Well, I'd like to thank my sponsor there, Axe Shower Gel, the only shower gel made from axes. I'm contractually obliged to say that whenever it comes on. I just hope the real Axe Shower Gel don't sue me. Anyway, welcome to episode 2 of The Real Thing, episode 3 of The Wretched. Well, last week on The Wretched, he discovered that the alien and written his daughter's name, scratched his daughter's name into the ship, which he's rather concerned about. He was supposed to give the alien a nickname, completely forgot to do that. But welcome to The Wretched. Yes, this is very exciting. So, just to remind you, here we are. I am the ship's doctor, Ben Maddox, on the Wretched spaceship. And the way this game works, very, very simple. You roll a die, that tells you how many cards you have to draw. Just getting the cards out of the packet here, if you can hear that. Live Foley. That's the thing about me, you see. I'm really committed to the live Foley. So, removing the cards I've already used and putting them back in the box. See, it's because it's radio. This is the thing with radio. You've got to explain more what's happening because there's no visuals. So it's sort of like, yeah, hello, here I am in a box. I've got bags under my eyes and I'm feeling a bit rough today. My hands are falling off. And that's what, that's like the beginning of every football match. Interesting fact with football commentators, on the close to the death of John Motson, their hands fall off. And usually they edit where the commentator says, hands still falling off today. Welcome to Main Road. Today we've got Manchester City against Bolton Wanderers. The crowd there looking very excited. A number 57 bus is going by and my hands are still falling off. What about you, John? Yeah. Hi. Very excited about the match today. Not so excited about the falling off hands. Interesting fact. It's just a thing. They've done a scientific experiment and they don't know whether it's because they're just people who are genetically predisposed to commentating on football have bad hand joints, or whether it's something intrinsic to spending that much time in football grounds. They're not sure. Well, commentary box is their theory, because it doesn't happen to the football players. Fewer football players have their hands just spontaneously fall off, though most commentators do. Dickie Davis, R.I.P. That's why you never saw him doing hand puppets on Sports Week. Hands falling off. It's one for the kids. Anyway, so yeah, here we are. Episode 3 of The Wretched. And this is very exciting, isn't it? So, what you do is you roll the die. It tells you how many cards to draw. Those cards give you prompts. And you read those prompts and then you write a story and then you record it and that. So, as you remember, and also at the end of everything, I have to roll a d6 to determine if the rescue beacon is coming. I did it twice, and I rolled 6 twice, and if you roll 6, you get to remove a thing, and the rescue beacon is fixed. I currently have 8 tokens on the rescue beacon. Good speaking there, and I'm not particularly confident. I also have a Jenga tower here, and for the listeners, I still haven't knocked the Jenga tower over. Wouldn't that have been hilarious if I just knocked the Jenga tower over then? But still haven't knocked the Jenga tower over. It's still there. I just finished an interview with Chris Bissett, the designer of this game, and I upbraided him for making me pull things from the Jenga tower far too often. So yeah, there's that. And then you roll the die, and if you remember, I'm using the
Cthulhu die. Hello, I am Cthulhu. Thankfully, Ben has let me come on the podcast just to address some of the rather negative press I've been getting over the last 100 years from my tentacly face. I would just like to establish that I am Cthulhu. Yes, I am the putrescent lord of the undersea, and I live in Rillier, where I never sleep, or I'm always asleep or something. Don't quite remember how that goes. But I've no problem with yous if you've got no problem with me. The Cthulhu and my Starspawn, we just want to chill in the South Pacific, have pina coladas and get caught in the rain. Just because you send your ships and that. And we don't want to be worshipped. I mean, if you want to chuck us a couple of quid, PayPal is CthulhuForLifeTentacleman@paypal.com. You can send me a couple of quid there. That's the kind of worship we want. Not frankly, you skulking around in forests, pretending to love us. Stay out of the swamp, send your kids to school, and be an upstanding citizen. Well, thank you anyway. That's me, Cthulhu, out.
Well, it's not nice to get Cthulhu in. And I think, he has been sorely treated over the last 100 years since that evil man H.P. Lovecraft wrote his story, Call of Cthulhu. Interestingly, when Cthulhu came into the studio just now, and there's loads of damp footprints everywhere, it's an absolute bloody nightmare. But when Cthulhu came into the thing, he did his call. And, you don't know what a Call of Cthulhu would be, but actually it was like,
Derek, make sure you lock the car door. Derek, lock the car door, Derek. Make sure, check it's locked. Dad, you're so bloody ACDC. That's OCD, Derek. Just make sure the car door is locked. I don't want the Cthulhu mobile being stolen.
And that was the Call of Cthulhu there. And it's not like a growl or anything. It's telling his Starspawn son Derek to make sure the car's locked. I spoke to Derek as well. He's very world weary. His dad's a bit full on. Anyway, so yeah. So basically, very simple. It's what I'm going to do. I'm going to roll the die. I'm going to do the prompts. I'm going to go through the prompts with you. And we're going to decide what's going to happen. Then I'm going to go and write it. And then I'm going to record it. And then I'm going to act it in that. And I'm really surprised that I haven't won top Oscar awards for my acting in this show. Because, dickheads on the internet often get nominated for Oscars, but I haven't. Okay, so, are you ready? I've got the Cthulhu die in my hand. This is very exciting. I'm going to roll it. And that's a 4, so I'm drawing 4 cards today. That's a lot of cards. And I'm going to have to draw a bloody Jenga thing. And remember, if the Jenga tower falls bloody over, I'm completely dudded, and I. So, yeah, thanks, Chris Bissett. Anyway, so I've got the packet of cards here. And I've got the thing. And remember, I'll just go over it again. Clubs, hearts represent your ship systems. So how your life support and all of that. Diamonds represents your ship's physical structures. Clubs represents the crew. A reminder of the crew and that. And spades is the creature. Okay, are you excited? So we don't have the Queen of Spades because we had that last week. Haven't drawn the Ace of Spades, though, yet. Don't forget the Joker. King of Hearts. So the King of Hearts is probably the only person within the Hearts resident who's probably immune from having to create baked goods. Because he's probably like sat fat on the sofa going, come on, I want some tarts. Give me some more tarts. And everyone else has to run around and bloody make tarts for him. I think the King of Hearts, he should bloody make some tarts. If you think he should, at 5 games for Doomsday, hashtag get off your fat arse, make some tarts. Hashtag you're not the king in my land. Hashtag not my king. Hashtag tarts forever. Okay, so King of Hearts. When you launch the creature out of the airlock, you couldn't seal it again. Every now and then the creature comes back to that hole in the side of your ship, scratching and prying at the single internal door. This separates you from the cold black of space. How do you react to this? Do not discard this card. Place it where you can see it. If this is the 4th king you've drawn, the creature has gained access to the Wretched and has finally found you. The game is over. Okay. That's my first king. Thankfully, I'm not dudded. So he's just going to talk about... Okay, that's nice. He's going to talk about when he was a young doctor with Jim from Neighbours. It was in the Young Doctors. That's one for the kids. Anyone here who remembers the Young Doctors? At 5 games for Doomsday. Hashtag Young Doctors. Hashtag Jim from Neighbours. Anyway, so when he was a young doctor, he had to talk to people about managing their stress. And he realises he's doing nothing of the stuff. I mean, it sounds boring, but I'll make it sound interesting. It's like an itch for him. The airlock is like an itch, and it's constantly scratching him, and he can't get the itch to stop. And so it's going to be something of a preoccupation throughout this piece, I think. And what I've written here, because I'm such a typist, I said, young doctor, he had to talk to people about mamsninging stress, and he realises he's not doing any of it. It's like an itch. I'm a very good typist. I'm popping in there with the old autocorrect, and there we go. Okay, so that was the first card. I hope you're all very excited. It's a 2 of hearts. No, I'm lying. It's the Ace of Spades. I always love drawing the Ace of Spades, and I'm currently having a sabbatical from drinking because I've got to lose my beer belly. And so usually if I drew the Ace of Spades, I just stop recording the podcast and go to the pub to celebrate. But unfortunately, I'm not drinking booze at the moment, so you're just stuck with me recording the podcast. So it's the Ace of Spades. R.I.P. Leominster. Okay, Leominster is a town near where I grew up. Apparently lots of incest there, I was told. Okay. So the Ace of Spades. Ding, 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 ding. Okay. Oh, this is good because it fits in with the first one. You find a way to distract the creature from its attempts to gain access to the ship. What is it? Okay. And it says if you've previously drawn the King of Spades, you may shuffle it back into the deck. Well, I haven't. So unfortunately, I can't. Okay. Okay, that's good. So the creature is attracted to a certain song. He doesn't know whether it's frequencies or whatever, but when he plays it, the creature will go to it. And because so it's funny that sci-fi things reflect the time in which they were created. If you watch Alien, for instance, they don't have Bluetooth speakers because they didn't have Bluetooth speakers at that time, right? But this is the future. I mean, they're definitely going to have portable Bluetooth speakers, aren't they? So yeah, he doesn't know whether it's frequencies, but when he plays it, the creature will go to it. He places a speaker in areas, and the creature goes to it. And that's how he... I don't know what song it is. I'll come up with that when I write it. But yeah, so so the creature will run. And I might put some skittering sound effects into this one. Okay, so Ace of Spades, very exciting. I can't shuffle it back in the decky-weck, though. That's unfortunate. Okay, third card. Are you excited? I haven't had to draw from the bloody Jenga tower yet. Isn't that amazing? I haven't had to draw from the Jenga tower. Here's me telling off Chris Bissett, and I haven't had to draw yet. Okay, 6 of clubs. Here we go. And as we remember, clubs are the crew, so it's going to be melancholy. 6 of clubs. All right. And I haven't had to pull from the tower again. Your scanners keep showing a large object that periodically disappears from the screen. No, that's hearts. Sorry, forget that. I still don't have to draw from the tower. Amazing. One of the crew told you all about a terrible dream they had a few days before the creature came. In hindsight, they were having a premonition of what was about to happen. Why did you all ignore them? Janie got cabin fever. There was a frisson between them, and she confided in them. She confided in him, and even though he liked her, he felt she was delusional. Didn't tell anyone. He regrets that. Excellent. Okay. And I'll read all these notes back out at the end. So one more card to draw. This is very exciting. I haven't had to draw from the Jenga tower yet, so this is incredibly exciting. Last card. What do you think it's going to be? Send me psychic powers to rearrange the card deck like Uri Geller. And this isn't pre-recorded, this is live, so it'll definitely work. All right. So another 6, the 6 of Hearts. And I think that was the one I just started to read out just then. Okay. 6 of Hearts. Yeah. Your scanners keep showing a large object that periodically disappears from the screen, only to show up again a few hours later. Is there something out there? Or is it a glitch? He doesn't know. But it will be the climax, which means it'll get revealed at the climax of this episode. This piece. So, what my notes say is, as a young doctor, he has to talk to people about managing stress and realises he's not doing any of it. It's like an itch. That's the creature scrabbling at the thing. The creature is attracted to a certain song. He doesn't know whether it's frequencies, but when he plays it, the creature will go to it. He places a speaker in areas and the creature goes to it. Janie got cabin fever. There was a frisson between them, and she confided in him, even though he liked her. He felt she was delusional, and he didn't tell anyone, and he regrets it, of course. And he doesn't know what the big thing outside is, but it will reveal itself as the climax. All right, so the last thing I've got to do, I've just got to find the Cthulhu die, and I've got to roll it. Am I going to get a 6? No, I got a 1, so I don't get closer to fixing the thing. It's very disappointing. I'm not very, very good at mechanical stuff anyway. I mean, it was unlikely that it was going to work 3 times in a row because I'm not very good. I mean, I wish I was better. I may be going to have to go to school for, mechanical stuff. I'm not very good at it. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for listening to The Wretched. And all that's left for me to say, I believe, is those immortal words. I'm going to go write it.
Day 3. Salvage ship The Wretched. Ship's Dr. Ben Maddox reporting. Do you hear that? Oh, bloody hell, it's at it again. I can't sleep for the bastard distraction of it. This is a tragedy. The ship's doctor, the only one alive when there's no one to treat. I'm bloody useless on this ship. John should have survived. Strange John with his humming and his ways. He would know what to do here. The ship, still alive. The ship needs treating, and here I am, completely useless in the face of all of these things. Flashing lights, the noises. I feel like I felt back when I started working. People don't realise that about doctors. They hear about our training and they assume we're confident and prepared for anything. And we have to project that too, because if we fuck up, well, then it's not good for our patients. It's not true, though. When I was young, just starting, every day, I was petrified. What if I made a mistake? What if somebody died? Now I made a mistake. And everyone has died. You were born after the war. So it's just a thing in history class for you. Something that happened to other people. I remember the build-up to the war. For years, it hung over us like an angry black cloud, just a low-level dread that permeated society. I remember those days. As a young doctor, so much of my work was dealing with people with anxiety issues. They would tell me, I don't know where it comes from, doctor, but we all... Soon we would be consumed by those bastards across the water. Now, Now, I know I'm not supposed to talk about them like that. I could get sent to the Citizens Academy, but I don't suppose I'll make it back, so I'm not worried. I hate them, darling. I hate what they've made our country. God. That's a relief to say. I've had that bottled up for 20 years. Well, I had to treat those poor people who knew somewhere at the back of their minds that we were going to be invaded, and I would give them this empty advice and they would smile and thank me. I wonder if it ever worked. I don't think so. That's the thing, you see, when you have a reason to be anxious, there is no cure. Oh God, it's gone back. You see, I didn't close the airlock properly, and I sheared some bolt, and now it won't shut, and that thing keeps trying to get in. Can you hear it? It's all I can think about. Well, unless it's Jane. Oh, Jane. I liked Jane, darling. You would have liked Jane too. She's lying in the airlock now. Torn up. She came to me. We'd seen something on the radar, you see. It wasn't that thing, it was too big. It would appear, then flash out again as if it'd never been there. It was making us jittery. Like that inevitable war. It lived at the base of our brains, making us anxious. Jane came to me. She told me of a dream she'd had. She'd seen us, she said. Our bodies floating in space. Torn up. She heard the skitter in her dreams, she said. She said we should prepare, not go out of the ship. She said we would let it in. You see, darling, I saw in Jane the worst of what I saw in the approach to the war. The anxiety was one thing, but they would come to me and tell me that they could see the future. Their anxiety had made them delusional. I saw that in Jane. What if I told the others? Made up some excuse for caution? I mean, I couldn't have told them Jane had seen the future. I mean, if I'd listened to her, though, and convinced the others. Is it very narcissistic to blame myself for this thing, darling? I rather think it is. It's back. That large thing. Oh my God, it's so close now, so close. Oh my God, darling. It's a ship. It's one of their ships. I have to go and look. This is Ben Maddox, ship's doctor, signing off.
All music by Chris Bizet. The game can be bought at loottheroom.itch.io. If you want to support the podcast, you can do that by going to patreon.com/5G4D. Thank you for listening.